Welcome to Floatcast again from the Reno River Festival. Today we have with us a very special guest, Maxx Cabello Jr. out of San Jose, heading out to the main stage here on day 3 in just a little bit, a couple hours. But thanks so much for taking a few minutes out of your schedule to sit down with us and talk to us a little bit about you, your background, and get to know us a little bit more too. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your background and where your musical inspiration kind of started.
Yeah, hey, great to talk to you, everybody. Hello. So my name is Max. Yeah, I was born in San Jose. I've been playing music since a kid. We've always had music in my family. My brother he's playing bass with me today. So we grew up playing all kinds of music. I was young. I used to sing in Spanish, but my neighbor brought a Jimi Hendrix record one day. My dad brought some other records, and then kind of started turning my ear a little bit. And then I got into the blues and stuff like that, and I've been very fortunate and been able to play all over the world because of music. I've gotten to open up for some legends like B.B. King.
Oh, no.
I used to hang out with John Lee Hooker at his house, amazing legend blues player. And one of my favorite ones is Bunny Wailer. I got to open for Bob Marley and the Wailers. But I got to open for Bunny Wailer in the Virgin Islands, and it was kind of one of those moments when you realize, damn, everything I was doing was for something. And so here I am today with you guys.
That's actually no surprise because when we came across you and I reached out, we watched a bunch of your videos on YouTube and stuff like that. And dude, you shred, man.
Oh, man,
I sent your videos to Bryan and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy destroys the strings," which is rad.
I just love to play. I try not to get in those things. Music's never been a competition. I just love it. And I just do what I do, I'm not going to say that I didn't take a little bit from everybody, because that's what music is,
Yeah.
I like to call it the menudo, it's a mixture of everything, it's like gumbo, that's how my music is, real eclectic. I write a lot of original stuff, and that's kind of where I think my expertise more are than covering other people's music.
That's cool. So what's kind of like your inspiration? I mean, like, were you like classically trained? Or like, did you just kind of like pick it up one day and figure it out? Like, how'd you start?
No training. I mean, like I said, my whole family plays music. My mom and dad sing, play guitar. My brother, bass, keyboard, drums, trumpet. He plays a lot of instruments. We all grew up in a really musical family, so for us, it was just like it was there, and if you liked it, you would play it. And that's kind of, I started off on the clarinet. Of all instruments, I started on clarinet. I found a saxophone, played a saxophone, I lost it. I got my butt whooped by my mom, Losing an instrument in elementary was expensive.
Yeah.
And then, then a guitar was always there. So, and then singing just kind of, I don't pretend to be the greatest singer. I just do what I do, and that's just how I get by.
Right on. So, as far as your show goes, what can we expect today? What can everybody expect? What's kind of your strategy when you go out to play a show?
Hold on.
Yeah.
It's funny. I look back at a lot of videos, and for me, the moment I think it's time to play, it's 150 miles per hour. It's just I really love to do it. I don't ever have a set list, which I know some people are kind of like against, but I feel I feed off the crowd more. So when it comes time to play, if I feel a song and I feel like I can make people move, and I'm pretty good at it, I've been doing it a while, so I kind of go with that approach. I don't really like set lists, but
I mean, that's so key. I mean, when you can see the way the crowd is reacting to certain things, if you can accelerate, we talk about this with our playlist when we go floating.
Yeah. Right?
You got to have the crescendo hit at the right moment.
Yep.
You can't start too fast, but you can accelerate at the right time and really kind of put a party over the top.
No, that's it. It's funny you say that too, because a lot of musicians that I play with, they'll be like, "Hey, don't play all your stuff yet. Like, hold on." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, because I'll come out the gates just flying. I don't hold back. It's like that bull, right out of the cage.
Yeah.
He's just on fire. I just love to play, and I just go for it. I just play from my heart, and I think that's the biggest thing for me. I just play from my heart.
So you mentioned some pretty legendary artists that you've opened up for. What's give us an idea of scale, like biggest venue you've been in, maybe your favorite venue?
Sure. So I opened up for Earth, Wind & Fire in Birmingham, Alabama, over 100,000 people.
Wow.
And it was the craziest thing, because I had just gone back from the Virgin Islands, and I got a phone call. And there's some pretty wealthy people out there, and they go, "Hey, do you want to play on this festival?" I'm like, "It's already booked." "What do you mean?" He goes, whatever. He's like, just, you want to play? I was like, yeah, of course I want to play. Next thing I know, we're getting flown out. My buddy from San Jose on drums, and then my old bass player from Minnesota. We all meet in Nashville, and it was just one of the most amazing times I've ever had. We had a butler, and it was just it was the weirdest. I'm really humble, so I don't, all that kind of stuff is just extra. But so we opened for Earth, Wind and Fire, and still to this day, the stage was like Woodstock. It was massive. I mean, just imagine 100,000 people. You had Ludacris on that show. You had Dr. John. I got to meet Dr. John that day, which was just a dream.
Dude, what is it like turning that corner and seeing that? Because I can't even imagine what's going through your body at that point.
It's weird for me. The bigger shows are never like the more nerve-wracking shows. It's always the small, intimate shows, being in a little group when everybody's just watching, like 3 or 4 people. It's always strange. But for me, big shows, I just thrive. You just, that energy, it's just like, it feels good.
Yeah.
You just want to rip it, rock, get up on stage and have fun. And that's what it's all about, just having fun. That's why every show of mine is different. You'll come and you'll see it's just different. It's never going to be the same. Once I get on stage, I'm thinking I'm ready to rock.
So you've been all over the world. Music's blessed you with a pretty wild career.
Pretty amazing, yeah.
You've seen some pretty cool things.
Yep.
When you look out, probably been in some pretty tropical places, fun places. You mentioned the Bahamas. Tell us about maybe a float situation you've been in.
Oh man.
Whether it be a boat. You told us earlier you like to fish before we came on here.
Oh, big fisherman.
But maybe something scary, maybe something funny.
Plenty of those. I'll start with the. So when we were kids, I'm a big camper too. So we love camping. We were camping since really young age. So it was very easy to get out there and not. It's natural. Nature.
Yeah.
And float stories, good ones, is I'll never forget. Just floating down there's a place called Soledad. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Soledad. It's down south, a little bit next to King City. There's a place, Los Padres National Park. Now, this place is beautiful. There's these gorges that you would never know existed unless you hiked 15 miles up into the wilderness. I'm talking about, we'd do this when we were 11, 12 years old, me and my brother. And so our story is we'd hike way up into this gorge.
No parents?
No parents. Just me, my brother, and BB guns, because we didn't, we were always just kind of afraid. You're in the wilderness.
Yeah.
So, and the crazy thing about this place is, I'm telling you, look it up. It is beautiful. Los Padres National Park in Arroyo Seco. That's what it's called, Arroyo Seco. And we'd start at the very top, and what was really cool is the campsites were all on the bottom, so you could start from the very top and float your way down.
Yeah.
There was times where you would have to jump in the water, because there were some really sketch places up there.
Yeah, I bet.
You'd have to go underneath somewhat of a cave to get to the other side, and once you did, it would just open up to the most pristine waters you ever seen, with bass that were just ginormous, and crawdads that were so clean that we'd eat them. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
That's one of my fond memories of floating down the river.
It's funny because we kind of grew up the same way, right? Get out of the house, go play, go have an adventure. Now I feel like a lot of parents are restricting that adventure and that open mind to go do things and explore and have fun. And I'm a big proponent of get out there, go chase things, go have fun things, be creative.
That's the thing. I think these kids these days, and it's different, right? It's way different. You got iPads and everything. Kids forget about nature and they forget about the fun stuff, and that's kind of what I try to share with everybody, is that, hey, put that stuff down, pick up an instrument, get out there, go fishing. I share fishing with everybody. I mean, it's just something good other than just being at home on a computer all day. There's enough of that, right?
Yeah. What's your favorite fish that you chase?
I've done a lot of trout, bass, walleye, northern. For me, I think yellowtail was one of my favorite fish to catch and eat, although I'm always really kind of I don't know if I'm fishing, if I'm swimming here, I don't want to be fishing here. I just have this one, I don't know, it's just this,
that's fair.
Thing.
That's fair.
And so I try to, if I'm going to fish and I'm going to catch something, I'm going to make sure I eat it. And a lot of times I do catch and release, just because, I want to keep the whole ecosystem of fish
100%.
going. It's important. my fiance bought me my lifetime license, which was one of the coolest things. So now I don't ever have to buy another license, and I can fish all the time.
You know, it's funny when you talk about like preserving that ecosystem and stuff like that. That's something we really focus on. I'm actually on a board of a nonprofit called Art of the Seas, and we focus down in the Bahamas on rebuilding the reef system with art. So we have artists that are designing these sculptures and stuff that are ocean friendly. We plant them, and then we bring in baby corals and plant the coral onto the art, so it naturally will rebuild the reefs, but then also do it in an artistic way that's also beautiful for people to look forward to in the future.
That's amazing. See, I've never been into snorkeling and all that stuff because I'm a little scared of the water. I love the water. I'm a water baby all the way. But just certain areas, right. I'll never forget, like being in the crib and you see a huge stingray come under you. You're just like, barracudas. I think I'll get back on the boat. You know?
Right.
I'll never forget. I'm a big scuba diver.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time I saw a shark.
Oh God,
swimming at me, and it's like you saw him come out of the murk, like way off. He's coming right at me, and I'm like, is this it?
Yeah.
Like I've never seen a shark before. Is this the moment? Yeah. And he kind of looked at me, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good." Yeah. And then he kind of took off, and I'm like, "That was the coolest thing ever."
I've been wanting to do some cage diving and stuff like that. You know, a little different than float. You might be floating a little bit in the cage, but
that's a float situation.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure. Yeah, man.
So we typically like to wrap up with a rapid fire that Bryan likes to do. It's 5-6 questions.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all floating.
It's basically just getting your float profile.
Yeah.
So kick it off. Float beverage preferred.
Well, I'm gonna say it. I do have my own beer out, and it's called Tattoos and Blues. So I'm gonna throw it out there. You know, I like to drink my Tattoos and Blues beer.
All right.
When I'm floating down the river.
All right. We're gonna have to try that. Bryan.
Yeah, it's a good note. We're gonna make a note of that. Favorite float song.
Float on, float on. You know that song?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great
Yeah.
one for floating.
Yeah,
totally.
All right. Favorite float environment: river, lake, ocean, pool.
I would have to say river. For some reason, just rivers. The flow of a river. You know, you're not. Oceans. Again, a little sketchy for me. I love being there, but I don't know what's going to come up from underneath. So, rivers are good. I love lakes too. Just the serenity, the peacefulness of a lake.
Okay.
Not, being too choppy. But river, for me, I just like to lay back, put my feet up, and just roll down the river.
Okay. Are you a tube guy or a boat guy?
Both. I actually like tubing. Tubing's fun. I've never been river rafting, but, I think tubing is pretty chill. Boats, I love boats. Nothing like hanging out on a boat and just relaxing,
Okay. Awesome. And then final question, belly flop or cannonball?
Say that again?
Belly flop or cannonball?
Well, I like to cannonball, but a lot of times it's a belly flop, especially when you're trying to backflip or do something like that. I'm a little adventurous. I admit it. I like jumping out of planes. I like bungee jumping and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I would say definitely cannonball, but a lot of times it don't work out that way.
He's a real floater, jumping out of planes, whether it be a boat or river.
I'm adventurous, man. I'm just adventurous. We only live once, so live it to the fullest. And that's all I really got to say is just enjoy life, man. Enjoy it. Faded Floater, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We're very much looking forward to checking you out today on the stage too, and thanks for being here with us. So for Floatcast, I'm Bryan, Caleb as always, and thank you, Max. And
thank you.
We'll see you next time. Keep floating.
Float on.
Floating.